Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Lorelai. So, we spent in the last episode nearly an hour just living the one day that Lorelai lived doing the job. There's a couple of things that stand out there. First of all, in the nursing home where she was doing her job, there's a lot of places you could go and wander around, and we just didn't. Like, I'm trying to play as a good girl, so wandering around and searching the facility and seeing if I can find something is uh, is very video gamey, but not really. I think the focus of this game. In fact, the focus of this game, much like the cat lady, is I think much more about listening to people and interacting with people and having like normal human interactions for the most part, contrasted by the horror scary parts, which we really didn't see any of that in the last episode. I think also there is a running theme here where Lorelai, compared to the cat lady, is at the beginning of her life and she is potentially subconsciously afraid about the horrors of getting old and actually becoming and concerned about where her life is really going to go. That would make a lot of sense considering her family situation. Uh, so them contrasting Lorelai, Lorelai just starting her life on the first day of the job versus several very old women, which I guess it's a all female facility. Um, I guess they probably should have mentioned that at some point. Uh, but yeah, these very old women, and at the end of their lives, contrasted to Lorelai's thing. There was one slight complaint I'll say in the fact that we saw a montage with some music, and the music was definitely different from the Cat Lady. I wouldn't say bad, but certainly not something that was as impactful as the first musical break in the Cat Lady. Um, it showed us a job montage where Lorelai would have done way more uh, actions than is reasonable, and frankly, it's a little weird to even work like an 8 or let's say she worked overtime and did a 10 or 12-hour shift here for your very first job. Maybe she means first job as in I've worked at some other part-time jobs, but and those are being mentioned, but otherwise, yeah, it's a little weird to do a full 8-hour shift as your first job. Not insane, but um, that is even in the 8 to maybe 12 hours that she worked in here. They showed a job montage that made it feel like she'd been working there for days, weeks, months, maybe even a year. Um, Maybe they're gonna try and do a time change, or maybe there is just some false narrative being shown to us, and the events that we're seeing here that seem like a flashback may actually have nothing in common with what her first day what actually was. We also picked up a odd spray bottle, which we didn't use, and it's about to rain as we walk back in, and it's dark.
It leads back inside Pinecraft.
Hmm. So unless now at night we start to see some horror stuff, I don't really know what the point here is. It seems like they're giving me one more opportunity to kind of wander around, and in this instance, I can't walk here. Um, and I think we're kind of done. There's a lady to the left, and so we can't even particularly walk further this direction. Like all the people are asleep now, so they're waiting for the night shift, and then she's just gonna be done.
Do you hear that?
Hmm.
No?
Exactly.
Hmm.
Nice and quiet. At last.
I wouldn't be surprised if we come
Bloody
back.
hell. Why
If,
did I say that?
I wouldn't be surprised
What
if
is it?
we come back to this.
It's the bell alarm. Someone just
this
pressed it by
scene.
mistake. It happens.
See,
Can you
this
check
is
the panel for me?
another case like in the previous instance
Just give
where
it a whack. It'll silence
they
it.
probably should run immediately to the room and not silence the bell at all. That's often why in real hospitals, when there's an alarm, the only way to turn it off, or I think the only way that you should be able to turn it off, is by actually going to the room and pressing a button in the room. Remotely disabling it is going to lead to lazy nurses not checking it.
The sound it makes is really annoying. But I can't just give it a whack, can I?
Well, I'm trying to figure out which room it is.
But Zoe will go mental if I break it.
Which room is it?
It says 11. Room 11.
Which
Room 11?
Yeah, why? Whose room is it?
So we're going to find
Are
out.
you sure it's 11?
Room 11 turns
Well,
out to
yes,
be
absolutely.
the
Come on. Who
room
lives
with
in
the
that
dead
room?
lady that scratched her face and then died.
Greta,
Hmm.
the dead lady.
I think they already took her body off.
Shit!
Are these maggots?
Hmm.
Ugh! I hate maggots!
So is Greta the queen of
But we
maggots?
still need to get in there and switch the bell off.
Where's Zoe?
This poor
She's doing the meds now.
character on
And
the
when Zoe's
far
doing the meds,
right.
it's generally best not to talk to her.
Why is Greta's body still there anyway?
I guess they didn't take her
they'll
body.
take it later tonight.
Yeah, the
Right.
third character
Let's find a way to
really
get rid of these
is not
things.
playing any role in this story, and I feel like what's going to happen is we are going to find out that there was a split path where we could have spent the rest of the time with her.
I need to get rid of these maggots.
Maggots, to this extent, crawling on doors are not likely to move that fast or grow that
Ugh,
fast.
they're all over the door handle.
So I guess what we're doing here
It's the bathroom door.
is we are now have some real gameplay.
I
Glowing
think these are used
tablets.
for cleaning. By the smell alone, I can tell it's powerful stuff.
I guess this is the bathroom where they bathe people. There was a scene in the homage where you were bathing a lady, and so I guess some people get sponge baths, some people don't.
It's just some cheap toilet paper.
Take some toilet paper. Surprisingly, there seems to be kind of a lack of gloves that are used and just general hygiene stuff.
Soluble cleaning tablets. Powerful stuff.
So are we making a bomb here, or are we just making chlorine tablets with water? Let's see, right bumps to combine with this.
There's no water in the bottle.
Okay, so we do need water in the bottle. But oddly, no sink. Like the sink is being blocked by the door somewhat intentionally. So you can't get water out of the sink. And this bathroom was one of the rooms that I felt like you could have wandered around. And otherwise, there's definitely some rooms in here we just never went into with different people that we may have actually wanted to deal with. Okay. So you sync with bottle. I wouldn't be surprised if there actually is just like 2 ways to do this also, where one is you just make some, I guess,
Smell alone
bleach,
makes my eyes sting.
bleach spray versus making a making some kind of explosive bomb. And it's not like the game has specifically told you what items would combine to let you make a bomb, so if that is a solution, I'm not sure. So do we want to combine these two?
That's not gonna work.
Nope. Alright, so just use this.
Oh, they didn't like that, did they? Horrible little buggers.
Yeah. So, we going in?
Yeah.
No. You know me, I get scared of my own shadow.
She's like the
Maria,
laziest chicken.
I don't want to do this on my own.
There's no way I'm going in there. Sorry, Lorelai.
Yeah, Maria's not
Fine.
being very useful,
I'll
but
go
I
and turn off
imagine
the
the
bell. You owe
idea
me.
here is that you'd end up alone in this room anyways. This poor character on the right just not saying anything. I don't know why you even add a character like that if you weren't going to use her. Why not just
Okay,
have only one person?
it's just a body. No need to be scared. Hey!
Turn that buzzer off and we'll let you out!
So, jump scare, right?
Now, how do I turn it off? That's just the light. But where's the bloody button that turns it off?
It would clearly be in the hand of the body, the patient.
What a storm, after such a beautiful sunny day. It's proper raining now. Where is that bloody...
And here we have reflections and the lightning, I guess, highlighting things.
Shit. But how did she manage to grab this bell?
Because obviously she's undead, like many characters in this series. And I guess the idea here is they'd want you to hesitate in these actions. I'm not really feeling that, though, because we know this is going to happen. A lot of these animations, you see, like... You see a lot of trailers for, like, hidden object games that are animated very much to this level, and
you ever cared about will be taken away. But she's coming.
so she says she there.
She will give you a gift that will save you, and you will take it.
Yeah, we are really late in the game to get the setup.
Make the same mistake that I did. When you make deals with the devil, the devil always wins.
So I guess it's the idea that the Queen of Maggots made deals with probably all of the major characters in the Cat Lady series. Wasn't really expecting that, but okay. The difference here, though, with these animations and the hidden object games is that the hidden object games are purposefully being deceitful by having an animation at the very beginning of the game that's a cutscene, and then having absolutely no animation whatsoever. We're hearing laughing. I wonder if this is the idea that they were just making fun of her and they were two-faced the whole time, uh, or mostly that the girl that you were working with was being deceitful. Um,
Got you! I got it all on my phone! Oh, mate, you should have seen your face!
What?
You nearly shat yourself!
they're pulling
Didn't
some
she,
prank.
Nisha? Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd have
This is so going on
Nisha
YouTube.
as a separate character, and instead of just merging these two characters together. This was a prank. So yeah, I think Lorelai definitely saw something different there than what these two characters saw. And that is the running theme of the entire trilogy, is that the character you're playing as sees the world very, very differently. Arguably, it's not a fantasy world. It may just be that there are two worlds and two ways, two perceptions of overlapping worlds. But yeah. So what's the right response to this? This was a prank, question mark? Like, see, again, this could be friendly pranking and just getting the beginnings of friendships, although it seems a little early if this is the first day working at this job, and that does seem like a pretty extreme prank for a new employee. I don't think pranking in the work environment is appropriate at all. It's just unprofessional. So I could see how some people, though, would think that that was acceptable. But really, it feels like various high school. So I would like, of the two options, to have Lorelai feel a little hurt and have these characters kind of grow up and not and feel bad about it, instead of just being a punching bag. Even though we've been going down the good route as much as possible, there is certainly an underlying thought about how Lorelai probably doesn't get treated well as she should be at home too. So I'm gonna go with "you filmed me." I guess that's the right response. I'm not sure if these responses really matter at all.
You filmed me?
Yeah, so?
You can't do that.
Yeah, filming
Look,
inside
you
of
always do that to new staff.
a retirement
It's funny.
facility is probably
Get over
something
it.
that should be completely banned. And let's see. You knew about this too, Nisha? We didn't even talk to Nisha, but I guess we might as well try to get to know more about it.
You knew about this too, Nisha?
Yes, of course. I ring the bell. Laura very scared.
Yeah, I guess the idea here is that Nisha may just not be a native English speaker, and so she's being written very much like a foreign worker in the UK that's probably not that skilled, and she may be intelligent in her own language speaking, but speaking English doesn't translate that well. Okay, you got me. Well done. It's probably the right response, even if you are going to plan some major revenge later. So here we have Nisha saying that she rang the bell, which means they totally didn't see what Lorelai saw.
Okay, you got me. Well done.
You're one of us now.
Yeah, I don't know if...
Welcome to Pinecroft, Lorelai.
I don't know if you want to be one of them. I keep expecting a chapter to change. This has been a really long chapter.
I'm glad you're all right, Mr. B. But you shouldn't have worried.
Interesting, there's like an animated
Except for
Donald Duck
Greta,
cartoon in the
sadly
background.
passing away. Well, everything's been hunky-dory. Oh, and that new girl, Laura. Or is it Lorelai? Yeah. She's done all right. Still a little rough around the edges. But I think we could make a good carer out of her.
I keep wondering, when is she just gonna go home? Seems like way more than 8 hours of work.
Cheers for the umbrella, Zach.
She does have the umbrella, so she must have just had the umbrella kind of hidden away. Honestly, in that outfit, she does kind of feel like she is just a completely different person.
And here I am now.
That was really, really long, to the point where we really had forgotten that she was sleeping / dreaming in the creepy room with the creepy dolls. A Lonely Seashore, Chapter 3. Are we waiting to see a cutscene, or?
Looks comfy enough. But it's gonna be hard to sleep with all these mannequins staring.
Interesting.
It leads back to the upstairs corridor.
And I guess the idea here is, do I want to snoop more? Or are we still just... Like, I feel like the game should have made me feel freer to snoop behind, like, these different doors. Maybe the game is just going to tell us to go through these different doors at different points anyways. Or maybe it will just leave us with no options. Here we have something that looks like an angel, where here you have something that looks more like a pagan
There's a
potential
strange
devil.
symbol drawn on this door.
We don't know what that symbol means. But then you have another door here. We can't really do anything with these doors.
These stairs lead back to the kitchen.
Examining everything just to get a little bit of extra lines of
Don't be
those.
shy. Come in, Lorelai.
Alright,
I'm cooking you a stew.
that's pretty
What?
much the Queen of Maggots.
It's about time you had a nutritious home-cooked meal, don't you think?
Which hopefully we can get
What is this place?
more backstory
And who are
on her
you?
somewhat, unless she is just supposed to be the devil of this world.
This house is my humble kingdom. And I'm your new best friend.
Yep.
I knew your mother
Creepy sound effects.
and your father. And now I'm getting to know you, Lorelai.
Wouldn't it be interesting if her biological mother and father had made a deal with her, the Queen of Maggots, to have a child, and thus Laura is a lie? This is interesting to just jump into a cave and be in a totally different artistic depiction in silhouette. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the mother and father got much of a deal there, if it was for Lorelai, because the father died and then the mother kills herself. Interesting, the light as we get closer is starting to reveal more than just a black silhouette. I'd kind of expect more to happen if you're going to animate 3 scenes, 3 different screens you can walk through. But on the other hand, since those screens were just rocks, I guess maybe the idea was to just have some falling tension in a scene that is going to have a relatively high floor of tension. So walking through a spooky area might be the most calming section we even experience. Here we see some candles, and the cat lady, you snuffed out candles of people, potentially people who had maybe made deals with the Queen of Maggots.
They call me the Queen of Maggots.
And that certainly implies that there might be a king.
In. They have no business here in my place of rest.
Or other characters
But I
like
thought that
her.
for you, I'll bend the rules and give you some of that motherly love poor Miranda failed to deliver.
For me? Why?
Is Miranda your mother?
See, I've been around a long time.
Music's getting a
Born
little
out of
loud.
darkness to burrow my tunnels deep in the wicked human hearts.
Interesting.
But your heart is different, Lorelai.
Very, very
Because
echoey,
you're a survivor.
very off-putting sound
A
effects.
survivor? Me? I certainly did not survive my throat slashed open with a sharp piece of glass.
Sometimes dying is not the end. Don't you know that, Lorelai?
Bullshit! Where's my dad then? Where's Mum? Gone. And now I'm gone too.
Not picking any of this
Perhaps
dialogue
you
clearly
are stronger than them.
shows that these lines of dialogue are
When
important
someone's
and they've
will
been
is
written
strong
well.
enough, even the death cannot stop them.
I think you are really overestimating who I am, strange lady.
And who are you, really? Who do you see when you look in the mirror, Lorelai?
We've been looking in mirrors a lot, but I'm not sure the game has ever forced you to really take notice of a cutscene when you're looking in the mirror. So now we get to pick some choices. Just a normal person with simple ambitions for a good, quiet life. Maybe? I don't know. I see someone who hasn't figured out who they are or what they want. I see a dead girl. Are you going to be so committed to being dead? Like if I was dead and somebody said, "Are you dead?" I'll go, I probably would think for a second and go, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Doesn't have to stay that way. At least I'd like to be dead in hope or live in hope. I see someone who almost got away, but they were fooling themselves that could ever work. Maybe I am a survivor. I've been through so much poop, but I'm still holding on. I think the most accurate way to describe Lorelai is this one, though. Like, it's a little premature to agree with her that you're a survivor.
I don't know. I see someone who still hasn't figured out who they are and what they want. I see a girl that tries so hard to make good choices, but they always turn out wrong in the end.
Roseberry Lane,
So
apparently
she's
on fire.
confused. She's lost. There was a glimmer of hope. Once. She could see the door open wide and she ran for it, like she'd never run in her life.
Wow, it seems like there
But
might
then
be
it
a
shut.
different speech for each choice you made there.
Right in her face. And now she'll never know how life would be.
Probably
if she
not,
crossed the
though.
finish line.
Wow, this almost is implying that all of the real world is just a simulation in this Elysium Fields.
But what does it matter now?
I'm not sure if it would be
I can't turn
beneficial
back the time.
to introduce a
No,
opposite to
but
the Queen of Maggots.
with my help,
Some
there is still something
good
you can
character.
do.
It would be like
Let's
introducing
take a walk, shall
angels to the Hellraiser series, which is what they did in the most recent awful continuation of the Hellraiser series, which they make more and more of those movies because they want to hold on to the rights of them, so that they can make more movies in the future if they ever got an idea. Okay, so we're just gonna play along, and we're now trapped in here. So we reliving the point right before we got stabbed. So we're probably gonna come back to life right where we were, and
This last memory of your life.
then have to kill the father,
Pretty
stepfather.
dreadful even for my standards.
What's he doing to Beth?
I believe he will drown her, Lorelai. You'd like to stop that man, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But how?
He's a real
It's too
nasty
late.
piece of work, frankly.
And what if I told you that it was not?
No reason to particularly drown the baby.
I'll bring you
You
back
could easily
to life.
just
You
give up the
carry on
baby, put it
right
up for
from
adoption.
where you died. Then you can pull Bethany out of that evil man's fingers. Sounds good, doesn't it?
What's the deal? So, here's the question. Do you do anything and everything to save the life of a child? Or do you negotiate and say, I can't trust you? Even if this is literally damning Lorelai's soul, which I'm still not 100% sure that Lorelai isn't somehow going to become the Queen of Maggots, but the way the Queen of Maggots explained herself, she's been around forever, since the beginning of time. Morally, you say, yes, I've got to save the life of a child, even if that child is a stranger, particularly if I'm already dead, even if it would be damning her soul to eternal damnation, torment, pain. It's still the right move.
And you really can do that?
And of course,
Most certainly.
that then expands to the next
There's a
step,
price for that.
in that I'm going to
I'll
have to
pay it.
kill him and probably
It's
other
nothing,
people.
Really. I just want you to fetch something for me.
It's not IO Tin Wolf Pelts, is it? Another video game reference. Do you want to be flippant in this moment? No, I don't think so.
Alright. What is it?
I just need one final ingredient for my stew. A fin of shark. Just a slice.
Really?
Shark
You want me
fin
to
soup?
kill a shark?
Oh, there's one already dead not far from here.
Where?
Look for the lonely seashore.
So we have to go in the dream world to get a
It almost makes this place look like home.
fin of shark, which this is going to be more painful than it seems. Definitely, because it's going to do some kind of mental attack on her and make her examine a.
What a lonely seashore.
It's going to make her remember something. So here's the lonely seashore, which I guess means we don't leave. I guess we can leave, but this is the lonely seashore, so let's use it. Just, I think, magically teleport ourselves into it by looking at it. It's almost like the linking books in Myst, which that idea in different types of games of looking into an image and then being teleported there is not a terrible one. And for a horror game, that actually works pretty well, because then you can have your standard Resident Evil experience where you're in a creepy mansion and still teleport to other scenes, and you don't even have to really explain the reason why you were moving from one scene to another. The first Evil Within game really had to jump through a lot of hoops to have each level be very separate, and it wasn't a great explanation, frankly. There's also a first-person shooter series called Time Splitters, where they are just a collection of completely bespoke different levels.
Oh, you poor thing. You belong in the ocean, not here.
So, honestly, if a starfish is on the beach, I would think you don't probably need to really throw it back. And at a certain level, you're probably throwing it so close to it. Wow, karma +1. Wow, we are just playing a video game at this point. And is that because this is the perception of a gamer, where the cat lady never played video games? Interesting. You examine it, and that's it. And you use it, and that's it. As long as you don't have an option.
Has someone been digging here?
This definitely feels like this is very possibly connected directly to the experience that the cat lady had. But if this is connected to the experience the cat lady had, and Lorelai sees the cat lady later, then I guess the question will come down to, is time just different in this world? And it very well might be.
That's a huge padlock for such a tiny shed.
Alright, well, let's see if we can use the... Well, actually, let's not break a padlock first. It's not showing me a padlock anyways. It's just not animated. Let's see if we can find
Looks sturdy enough.
find a key before we break things. I feel like we're gonna find out that this area is a lot bigger.
I think there's something stuck inside the shark's jaws.
Okay.
There's something inside the shark. If only I could get these jaws open.
Alright, well, let's use the carjack on the shark. It seems to be dead already. I mean, you didn't need any other jack or piece to open his jaws open.
I think there's something stuck inside the shark's jaws.
She's gonna put her hand in there and get it chopped off. At least that's whatever happened in the cat lady, but honestly, this is a very different story.
Okay.
So are we gonna examine it?
I don't even want to know how this ended up inside the shop.
Let's see. Can you use the camcorder? Apparently. But either you're supposed to look at it when standing in this spot, or you're supposed to stare at it for a very long time. And I think a very long time is questionable. Let's see. Now we can examine
I
it.
saw this spot on the video. Could there be something buried underneath? It would take me ages to dig here with just my hands.
Alright, so let's then open it. So it's a person.
The skeleton looks ancient. Poor chap. Stabbed right in the gut. Perfect. I could really use a knife.
I'm a little surprised that in pulling out the knife you didn't at that level bring the character back to life. Interesting. So let's see if we can open the shed first.
That's not it.
Okay, so you just can't do that. We may very well be in a situation where we have to find a way to escape. Still feels grotesque to cut the fin off a shark.
Well, this is it. But I only want a slice.
You see, this is where an unreliable narrator might come into play.
This is what I came for. Now... How do we leave this place?
Like, we might be seeing a...
It's blocking my way.
We might be seeing a shark, but that may have just been a person. This mannequin may be a person.
Get out of my way!
There's a key.
Wow, aren't you a very strange key?
Walking back this way didn't do anything.
Squeaky old ladder.
With the exception of moving the starfish, it definitely feels like this is just the same experience you would have to go through. This scene is definitely a lot more open air and empty compared to a lot of the scenes we've seen previously, particularly the apartment in the first chapter. So maybe they overcommitted on decorating and drawing the first chapter, and now they're trying to save some time and compensate by having just a lonely seashore with very little in it. We also went through that section fairly quickly, which does open up the idea that there may be perhaps not so much gameplay as you would think. Interesting. So you can't press up on the control and go back through that door. And so we now know that we're going to return to this place at least 1 or 2 times.
I've got it.
And we might very well see...
Yes, put it in the pot, would you?
We might very well see that there are a couple other places that you interact with.
The food smells nice.
Hmm.
It's a slice of raw shark meat for Queen stew.
It would be kind of like rotten, almost certainly.
Eat, my child.
In the cat lady,
This hot stew will
she
make your
really
heart
wanted
beat again.
you to...
I've never
the Queen
had
of
shark
Maggots
before.
wanted you to kill
It's
a lot of
quite nice.
other monsters. Monsters the Queen of Maggots very well may have created.
And should you ever come back, there's plenty left for later. It would be a shame to waste it.
Where all the Queen of Maggots has really
It's time
asked
for
her,
you to have your revenge.
she wants you to save...
Roseberry Lane. God, I hate that place.
You can save your sister maybe and not kill the father, but I bet
This
the Queen of
is your
Maggots
second
wants you
chance.
to probably kill him too.
Don't.
And I imagine the game will actually let you. Interesting. Can you walk the other way? If you did that, that'd almost be like an achievement, I would think. And here you have another instance of just
I'm coming
walking,
to save you, Bethany.
but this is, I guess, your as low of falling tension as you can have in a sequence like this. I let you play some music, which you really have to highlight that they're actually very poorly, but still taking out the time so that the music can actually play all the way through, so you don't just have an abrupt music cut happen. In so many games, the focus is about all action all the time that you can't even have traditional music play in the background in its entirety, and that's insane considering how we went from often having 60-70 minute long records that you would listen to the entire record down to having like 5-minute long songs in the 60s, 70s, down to nowadays you'll be lucky if you've got a 3-minute song that plays, and often even the news radio, the radio stations will cut out the boring parts or make a radio edit or fade in at the front, fade out at the back to shorten it. So people have been now trained to not even have any tolerance to listen to music.
Roseberry Lane.
Roseberry Lane. So the question, that was a very short chapter. A second chance. The question will come down to, do you then have to go perhaps through this through this scenario twice to save your potential boyfriend Jake, or was Jake just hit on the head and never really killed? That may be the case. We may very well save our sister and have to sacrifice Jake, and then that might be another instance. What would be an interesting story to tell, but not for this game, would be if there was a character like the Queen of Maggots who was making a bunch of deals, bringing a bunch of dead people back to life, and amassing an army against the living. You could easily make like a zombie movie like that, where it wasn't just mindless zombies wandering around. It's living, breathing, thinking people who have been slighted by the people who are still alive, who have come back for revenge. But at a certain level, I guess, if you're going to write interesting characters that are coming back from the dead for revenge, you can't then make them uninteresting by having a massive amount of them in a zombie type apocalypse. So you'd almost have to make a series, like a TV series, where somebody different comes back from the dead and there's an individual episode about that specific person that's come back from the dead. Anyways, I'm going to end this recording here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.